Claire's hand shook as she raised the broom. 100 pounds of gray muscle pressed over her 6-month-old granddaughter, refusing to move. Argos's eyes were wild, terrified. Not of her, but of something inside the baby that only he could sense. 3 weeks earlier, Argos seemed like the perfect guardian. But when he started hiding Lily from her own family, dragging blankets over her, blocking doors, neighbors warned Claire, that breed snaps without reason. She had the shelter on speed dial the night paramedics discovered Lily's heart was failing in secret. The dog everyone wanted gone? He'd been fighting to save her life since the day her tiny pulse first skipped. If you've ever been one decision away from losing what mattered most, stay with this story. What happens next will change how you see loyalty forever. Argos's world ran on rhythm. The scrape of Claire's slippers at dawn, the hum of the coffee maker, the soft weight of her sigh when she looked at Connor's photo on the mantel. He'd been her son's dog, her last living promise to a soldier who never came home. When baby Lily arrived, Argos's purpose crystallized. He slept beside her crib, nose pressed to the bars, chest rising in sync with her tiny breaths. But Tuesday afternoon, the rhythm broke. Claire sat on the couch, Lily cradled in her arm, bottle tilted. Argos's ears snapped forward. Beneath the milk and powder, a sour metallic scent bloomed from Lily's chest. Her heartbeat, steady for weeks, suddenly stuttered, skipped, raced. His entire body went rigid. He stared at the exact spot where that wrong rhythm pulsed, unable to look away. Claire laughed. "You're obsessed with her, aren't you, buddy?" She nudged his head with a wrist. He lunged closer instead, nosing between them. The coffee mug tipped. Hot liquid splashed across Claire's lap. She yelped, jerking up. Lily wailed. Argos planted himself where the baby had been, sniffing frantically at the couch cushion, searching for the source of that wrongness. "Argos, seriously?" Claire snapped, grabbing towels. Her cheeks burned with embarrassment, even though no one else was there. Argos's tail hung low, ears flat. He licked at Lily's tiny foot, whining. The bad smell lingered, and the jagged heartbeat beneath her ribs terrified him in a way he couldn't explain. That night, when Claire tucked Lily into the crib, Argos did something he'd never done before. He stood on his hind legs, paws on the rail, and refused to leave even when Claire shoved him away, as if he knew that the next time that heartbeat skipped, the baby might not wake up. Have you ever seen a dog fixate on one part of a person's body and wondered what they were sensing? Drop a comment while you watch what Argos does next. By Thursday, Argos wouldn't leave Lily's side. He shadowed her from room to room, wedging his body between her and anyone who reached down. When Claire's daughter Melissa visited, perfume sharp and phone buzzing, Argos positioned himself like a wall in front of the playmat. "Mom, he's acting psycho," Melissa said, toeing his shoulder. "You know what people say about this breed?" Claire forced a smile. "He's just protective. He loved Connor." Argos's nose twitched. That wrong scent was back, stronger now. Lily's skin felt cooler under his tongue when he licked her hand. Her movements were slower, less energetic. When Melissa bent to pick her up, Argos moved faster, shoulder slamming into Melissa's wrist, forcing her back. Lily tumbled sideways with a startled cry. Argos crouched over her, trembling, eyes locked on her chest. "Mom, did you see that?" Melissa's voice pitched high. "He just knocked into me. What if he'd hurt her?" Claire grabbed Argos's collar, yanking hard. "Off. Now." His claws scraped the floor as he resisted, desperate to keep his nose near that stuttering heartbeat. Melissa scooped Lily up, clutching her tight. Either he goes, or Lily doesn't come back here. Claire stared at the dog Connor had called his best friend, and for the first time wondered if everyone else had been right. Maybe you can't trust an animal bred for fighting, no matter how gentle he seems. That night, Claire sat at her laptop, searching. Pit bull attacks on infants. The results flooded in. Headlines, warnings, grainy videos. Her stomach twisted. But then she noticed Argos, lying beneath Lily's crib, ears pricked toward every breath. Not sleeping, just listening. His eyes tracked the rise and fall of the mattress above him, and every time Lily's breathing hitched, his head lifted, alert. At daycare drop-off Friday morning, the director pulled Claire aside. "We've noticed some bruising on Lily's legs. Small but consistent." Her tone was careful, professional. "Is there anything at home we should know about?" Claire's face went hot. "We have a large dog. He's gentle, but maybe he's been too rough. The director made a note on her clipboard. We're required to document. Claire drove home, gripping the wheel too tight. Inside, Argos waited by the door, tail wagging once, uncertain. She knelt, cupping his broad face. What's going on with you? His amber eyes searched hers. He licked her palm, then trotted to Lily's swing where the baby dozed, and pressed his nose to her knee, right where the bruise had appeared. He whined, soft and desperate. That afternoon, Lily's pediatrician called back. The bruising could be normal for her age, bumps from play. But if it continues, bring her in. The word should have comforted Claire. They didn't. If your gut told you something was wrong, but everyone else said you were overreacting, what would you do? Keep watching. Claire's about to face that exact choice. Melissa's calls came daily. I talked to a trainer. Dogs that fixate like that are unstable. You need to rehome him before something terrible happens. Claire defended Argos at first. Then her words grew weaker. She installed a baby gate. Argos paced outside it, claws clicking, whining until she relented. When she closed him in the laundry room, he scratched the door until his pads bled. She couldn't win. The night the social worker arrived, rain drummed the windows. Melissa had filed a report. Unsafe environment for an infant. The woman was kind but firm, clipboard ready. We need to assess the situation. Argos paced the living room, tail low, breathing shallow. That wrong scent radiated from Lily in waves now. She sat in her bouncer, pale, listless. Argos's instinct screamed. He moved between the bouncer and the strangers, a low growl building in his chest. See? Melissa gestured. He's aggressive. He's scared. Claire shot back, voice cracking. You're all strangers in his house. The social worker scribbled notes. Has the dog ever bitten anyone? Never, Claire said. But doubt crept in, cold and invasive. Suddenly Lily let out a weak cry. Her tiny body went limp, head lolling. Argos exploded into motion. He lunged, knocked the bouncer sideways with his shoulder, and caught Lily's onesie in his jaws as she tumbled. He dragged her backward onto the couch, paws wrapping around her like a cage, eyes wild with panic. The social worker stepped back, hand on her phone, and said the words that would haunt Claire forever. Ma'am, I'm calling animal control right now. Melissa screamed. Claire grabbed for Lily. Argos didn't growl or snap. He curled tighter, pressing his chest over the baby's, his whole body a desperate shield. Lily's eyes fluttered closed. Her lips looked faintly blue. In that fractured moment, time split. Claire saw two paths. Trust the dog, or save the baby from him. She chose. She grabbed the broom from the corner, raised it high, tears streaming. Argos let go, but as her arm swung down, she saw it. Not aggression in his eyes, but terror. Pure, animal terror. He wasn't trying to hurt Lily. He was trying to keep her alive. Then Claire remembered. Connor, age 8, sobbing in the driveway after a bike crash. Argos had done the same thing. Planted himself over the boy, refusing to let anyone near until the ambulance arrived. The paramedic had said, Ma'am, your dog likely kept him from going into shock by keeping him warm and still. Claire's hand froze mid-swing. She dropped the broom. Call 911, she whispered. Not animal control. Call an ambulance. Something's wrong with Lily. She saw Connor's face the day he left for deployment, kneeling beside Argos. Take care of Mom for me, buddy. And if anything ever happens to someone we love, you do what you do best. You don't give up. Argos had licked his face, tail thumping a promise. Paramedics arrived within 6 minutes. Argos sat in the corner, shaking, head down. One paramedic knelt beside Lily, fingers on her wrist. His expression changed, subtle, but sharp. How long has she been this lethargic? Claire blinked. She's always tired after daycare. Her pulse is irregular. He glanced at his partner. We need a transport now. Everything blurred. Sirens, flashing lights, questions Claire couldn't answer. Melissa sobbed as they loaded Lily into the ambulance. Animal control arrived just as they pulled away, an officer stepping out with a clipboard and a wary expression. We have a report of an aggressive animal, he said. Claire stood in the rain, arms wrapped around herself. He's not aggressive. He's the reason I called the ambulance. The officer looked skeptical. Ma'am, we still need to take him into custody, pending investigation. No. Claire's voice was steel. You take him, you do it over my dead body. In a hospital, machines beeped in relentless rhythm. Doctors moved fast, attaching wires to Lily's chest, drawing blood. A cardiologist arrived, her face serious. She studied the monitors, then turned to Claire and Melissa. Your granddaughter has Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome, a congenital heart condition that causes episodes of rapid, irregular heartbeat. She tapped the screen. It's been triggering intermittent drops in circulation. That explains the bruising, the fatigue, the pallor. Melissa's face went white. How long has she had this? Likely since birth, but it's episodic. The attacks come and go. The doctor paused. These episodes can be life-threatening if untreated. If you hadn't brought her in tonight, she didn't finish. She didn't need to. Claire's knees buckled. Melissa caught her. How do we miss this? Melissa whispered. The cardiologist pulled up a chair. These episodes are notoriously hard to catch. They're brief, and babies can't tell you when something feels wrong. She glanced at the notes. You mentioned a dog was acting strangely. When did that start? Claire's breath caught. 3 weeks ago. He wouldn't leave her alone. He kept sniffing her chest, blocking people from holding her, trying to cover her with blankets. The doctor's expression softened. Dogs have an extraordinary olfactory system. They can detect chemical changes, elevated cortisol, adrenaline spikes during arrhythmia episodes. It's documented in medical literature. Melissa's voice broke. We almost had him euthanized. The doctor looked between them. That dog may have saved your daughter's life. Back home, Argos was still locked in the laundry room, waiting. Animal control had left a notice on the door. Quarantine pending behavioral evaluation. Claire sat on the floor outside, palm pressed to the wood. Inside, Argos whimpered, pawing weakly. I'm so sorry, she whispered. You tried to tell us. We didn't listen. If you've ever misjudged someone or something that was trying to help you, hit that like button. Argos's fight isn't over yet. The hearing took place in a gray municipal building, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. Argos sat outside in Claire's car, nose pressed to the window, watching strangers pass. Inside, Claire faced an animal control officer, a behavioral specialist, and the original social worker. Also present, Mrs. Pritchard, the neighbor who'd called Argos a loaded gun, and the daycare director who documented the bruises. The officer opened a folder. We're here to determine whether this animal poses a danger to the community. He looked at Claire. You have 3 minutes to make your case. Claire stood, hands shaking. She practiced this speech a dozen times, but now the words felt impossible. Argos belonged to my son Connor, who died serving overseas 2 years ago. Before he left, he made me promise to take care of his dog. I almost broke that promise because I was scared. Her voice cracked. But Argos wasn't dangerous. He was desperate. He sensed my granddaughter's heart condition weeks before any of us noticed symptoms. Every time he acted out, it matched an arrhythmia episode. The behavioral specialist leaned forward. Do you have medical documentation? Claire slid a folder across the table. Hospital records. The cardiologist's statement correlating Argos's behavior with Lily's episodes. Timestamps matching to the hour. The specialist read silently, eyebrows rising. Mrs. Pritchard cleared her throat. I don't care what the papers say. I've seen the videos online. Those dogs are bred to fight. What happens when he decides the baby's a threat instead of a patient? The room went quiet, and Claire realized that facts wouldn't win this. Fear would. She had to give them something stronger than data. You're right, Claire said softly. Mrs. Pritchard blinked, surprised. Argos is powerful. He could hurt someone if he wanted to. But here's what you didn't see. She pulled out her phone, hands trembling, and played a video. The footage showed Lily in her crib, 3 weeks old, screaming. Argos nudged the bedroom door open, walked to the crib, and gently dragged a blanket through the bars to cover her legs. He curled up beneath, whining softly until Lily quieted. That's not aggression, Claire said. That's a promise he made to Connor, and he's kept it every single day since. The social worker glanced at the officer. The medical evidence is compelling. Mrs. Pritchard shook her head. Until he mauls someone. The behavioral specialist closed the folder. Actually, the behavior pattern here is protective alerting, not predatory aggression. There's no snapping, no biting, no escalation of violence. Just persistent proximity seeking and barrier behaviors. She looked at the officer. In my professional opinion, this animal doesn't meet the criteria for dangerous. The officer sighed, rubbing his temples. Conditional release. Mandatory behavioral evaluation every 6 months. The child's physician must confirm ongoing correlation between the dog's alerts and medical episodes. One incident, anything that even looks like aggression, and he's removed permanently. Claire's tears came fast. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Mrs. Pritchard stood abruptly, chair scraping. This is insane. That thing should be put down. She walked out, slamming the door. The officer watched her go, then looked at Claire. For what it's worth, I hope he keeps saving her life. Outside, Claire opened the car door. Argos stepped out slowly, uncertain. His tail stayed low. He glanced at the building, then at Claire, waiting for permission to exist. She knelt, buried her face in his neck, and sobbed. You're coming home. You're staying home. His tail began to wag, slow, then faster. He licked her face, whining soft and relieved. 2 months later, life had found a new rhythm. Lily wore a tiny heart monitor now, her color already brighter on medication. Argos still slept beside her crib, but now when his ears pricked and his nose pressed close, Claire checked the monitor first. Twice he'd alerted before the device did, his body tense, eyes locked on Lily's chest. Each time, Claire adjusted medication or called a cardiologist. Each time, Argos relaxed only when Lily's rhythm steadied. The neighborhood changed slowly. Some apologized. Mrs. Pritchard never did, but she stopped calling the city. The daycare director actually asked if Claire would bring Argos in for a gentle giant photo day to teach kids not to fear big dogs. Claire politely declined. Argos had nothing left to prove. Melissa came over more often now, no longer checking every corner for danger. One afternoon she watched Argos lay his head on Lily's lap during tummy time, the baby's tiny fingers tangling in his fur. I was so wrong about him, Melissa said quietly. We both were, Claire replied. We saw the breed instead of the individual. We listened to fear instead of watching what was right in front of us. Melissa looked at her. Do you think he knows? That he saved her? Claire smiled. I think he just knows she's his to protect. That's enough. On Lily's first birthday, the house filled with balloons and family. Argos wore a bow tie Melissa had tied around his neck, patient as ever. He sat beside the high chair, waiting for cake crumbs. Lily reached down, fingers grabbing his ear, and leaned her whole weight against his head. He didn't flinch, just closed his eyes, tail thumping slowly. Claire snapped a photo. The moment froze in perfect clarity. The massive gray dog and the tiny girl, trust and love woven between them like an unbreakable thread. She thought of Connor, wished he could see this, and felt certain somehow that he could. Later, after guests left, Argos curled beneath Lily's crib as always. His breathing synced with hers, his ears tuned to every shift. He'd kept his promise. He protected the small, kept the small breathing. And he would, for as long as his heart kept beating. 3 years later, Argos is graying around the muzzle now, his steps a little slower. But his purpose hasn't dimmed. Lily, age 3, calls him Goes, and drapes herself across his back while he naps. He tolerates her toddler chaos with the patience of a saint, only intervening when her monitor beeps or when she climbs too high on the couch. Claire has become an unexpected advocate. She speaks at community events about medical alert dogs, about breed prejudice, about the danger of letting fear override evidence. She shares Argos' story not for fame, but because somewhere out there, another family might be facing the same impossible choice she almost made. Trust isn't about assuming the best, she tells audiences. It's about paying attention. Argos didn't ask me to believe in him. He asked me to watch, to listen, to see what he was showing me. I almost didn't, and that almost cost us everything. The cardiologist has documented 17 separate instances where Argos alerted to Lily's arrhythmia before symptoms became visible. The data now contributes to a study on canine medical detection. Argos, the dog people wanted euthanized, is helping save lives beyond his own family. But to Argos, none of that matters. He doesn't know about studies or advocacy. He knows the girl he protects smells right now. Her heartbeat steady and strong. He knows the house smells like home, coffee, laundry soap, Claire's hand cream. He knows his purpose. One evening, Claire sits on the porch with a glass of wine, watching Lily and Argos play in the yard. The girl throws a ball poorly, It rolls under a bush. Argos retrieves it gently, dropping it at her feet. She squeals, throws it again. The cycle repeats, simple and perfect. Melissa joins Claire, sitting on the step. Do you ever think about what would have happened if you'd given him up? Claire's throat tightens. Every day. Me too. They watch in silence as the sun sets, painting the sky gold and pink. Argos lies in the grass, Lily sprawled across his side, both of them content. The moment is ordinary, unremarkable, and more precious than either woman can articulate. That night, tucking Lily into bed, the girl asks, "Mama, why does Go sleep on my bed?" Melissa smooths her daughter's hair. Because he loves you. And love means staying close, even when it's hard. Will he always stay? Melissa glances at Argos, already curled beneath the crib. As long as he can, baby. As long as he can. Downstairs, Claire opens her laptop one last time. An email from the cardiologist. Lily's latest scan shows significant improvement. Medication is working beautifully. Thank you for trusting the process. And your dog. Claire closes the laptop, climbs the stairs, and pauses in Lily's doorway. The nightlight casts soft shadows. Lily sleeps soundly, one arm dangling off the mattress. Below, Argos rests with his nose inches from her tiny hand, eyes half open, ever watchful. Claire whispers into the darkness, "Thank you for not giving up on us, even when we gave up on you." Argos's tail thumps once against the floor, a quiet acknowledgement, a promise kept. If this story reminded you that loyalty doesn't quit, and that the things we almost throw away are sometimes the things that save us, share it. Subscribe so you never miss stories that matter. And in the comments, tell us about the guardian in your life that refused to give up. Argos' story is one. Yours might be the next one we tell.